power. Everybody needs love power. What's up? What's up? It's your man Rico. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's your man Rico. Rico the Opinionist. Taking a stroll just before a client shows up. I want to share a few thoughts. And I'm going to try not to be long-winded on this, okay? I know y'all see the title. Please check out the description box. It's and it says, no, point blank, Dr. Umar, shut the fuck up. You don't know crap. You're clueless about black love relationships. And don't mean to come at the brother like that, but this last time, he's always spoken about various things. And I've always, agreed with a lot of stuff he says. And you don't agree with everything anybody says, right? And I don't. But I agree with the bulk of what Dr. Umar talks about. If there was a conversation about reparations, I want Dr. Umar Johnson at that table. Not now, right now. It's a conversation about interracial dating. I need Dr. Umar in the room. About just general things about racism, white supremacy. I want Dr. Umar in that room because I believe in him. I believe in his credentials. I believe in his ability. And but one thing that when I start paying attention to, when he get into this one topic, he's talking about the LGBT and economic and psychological shortcomings of that. I need him at the table, But when it comes to black love relationships, Dr. Umar, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You really don't. And also from this last interview you did with those brothers on the Daily Rap Show, I think. Shout out to those young men. Now I must say they held their own. They did a good job. But Dr. Umar has been saying the same thing for so long, really going unchallenged, that he believed that everything he said about as relates to the relationship between black men and black women is true. And so something inside of me snapped on this last time. Because I've heard him say some of the things he said. By the way, I'll try to find an interview. If you don't want to go ahead and find it yourself, I'll stick it in the description box, in the description box. And he was doing just fine when he talks about everything else. But when he blatantly just removed all responsibility from black women, all responsibility, even their ability to choose who they have sex with, he removed that ability. He removed their ability to know how to choose, either become a wife or a baby mama. He removed that ability. Their ability to think for themselves in light of all these strong, empowered, the most educated, the most rising entrepreneurs and all. He removed all the ability of self-accountability. He removed all of that in this last thing. And I'm like, no, man. So you probably say, well, Rico, what you talking about? I'm going to say this before I really get into it. After this last rant he did, I'm going to compare Dr. Umar Johnson to Derrick Jackson, Ace Metaphor, Tony Gaskin, T.D. Jakes, Steve Harvey, Candace Owens, Larry Elders, cats like that. Because one thing, they all on a roll. When they're telling the truth, they're telling the truth. But then when they drop a truth bomb that's really like, as it relates to racism, white supremacy, as it relates to certain aspects. But then what all these people have in common is they have to pander to the base that pays them. And usually it is black men who become the brunt, or they have to get that payment off of. All the relationship gurus. They do okay. Yeah, sisters, y'all wrong this, sisters, y'all wrong, but they really go in, make everything black men's fault. Or even Dr. Umar said black men even created some stuff. No, as it relates to black women's behaviors. I'm like, wait a minute. So he's like, you're good. And so, all right, let me go across here. And so, yeah, Candace Owens she can drop some truth bombs all of a sudden. Candace Owens will end up saying some stupid crap like, and I'm gonna get on her ass about this in another video. She referred to Juneteenth as a ghetto holiday. But the week before that, she said something really powerful. But you know who pays for these people, so they got to pander to their base. All those other men I named, they pander to the female base, black women. So just like T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes tried to get outside that matriarchal matrix one time, and they got on his ass. His church was empty, according to some pictures that came out. And he had to switch his ministry over to his daughter to try to get the women back on, because you cannot tell them they do anything wrong. T.D. Jakes worth millions of dollars, properties and everything, set for life. But he told them, y'all are responsible for bringing about these masculine women, and y'all are responsible for your part, shit. And so Dr. Umar understands that too. Tony Gaskin, Ace Metaphor, all of these so-called love gurus, they all understand that what America understands. The market, if you want to sell anything to based on emotions and feelings, you go to the women. Because one thing about men, we're logical thinkers, and you can't just sell us anything. We want to look under the hood first. We want to test drive it first. You can't make nothing shiny and pretty for us. We're like, okay, here's the money. So this last interview, most recent interview he did with these young men has gone viral. And I'm going to get into it, but I want to say how proud I am of so many black men who've come out and ripped Umar's ass. I'm sorry, let me change it. And put their boot on his neck for this foolishness. I mean, I've never been more proud of the black manosphere, of brothers who may not be connected to the black manosphere, but they came in and said, no, bro, you done went too far. So, and I think I'm so happy that the internet is here, because for the past 40 some odd years, people have been able to say terrible things and make these accusatory statements about black men, unchallenged. On TV shows, on talk shows, and black men didn't have any platforms or vehicles where we could respond. Now, before then, you had the scholars used to debate all the time. But these little punks and punkettes, they don't want to sit down and have no real conversation about anything, because they don't have the intellectual fortitude to do it. All they have are accusations. And one thing, if y'all don't know anything about me, I'm two things. I'm a social worker, and I'm a black male advocate. I know a lot of these folks say it, but when it comes to black men, if you want to get on my bad side, say something stupid about HBCUs and say something that's totally untrue or that's completely just damning or dumb about black men and black boys, you got a problem on your hands. And Dr. Umar, you got a problem on your hands, because I'm to the point. I'm almost sick of you, because. And I'm going to get to it. Y'all hold on a minute. People are so upset and mad at black men that they'll even believe that we got a population of women that's so mad at black men that they'll let anybody say anything to them. You say, that's the truth. He told the truth about y'all. Well, of course he did in your mind. I refer to these women as as Mary J. Blige fans. You know Mary J. Blige, all her songs are happy and unhappy, broken, just hurt, a bunch of hurt songs, a bunch of hurt women. Those are her fans, the ones that think Umar just shut it down. He didn't. He says the same thing over and over. For some reason, this, I guess due to the technology, due to social media, this message was able to get out, and you have people who want to really push this message. Dr. Umar is great when he's talking about ADHD. when he's really on a roll, but when he started talking about black love relationships, he's out of his wheelhouse. because he's out of touch. And the last hope that black people had when it comes to black male and female relationships was Kevin Samuels. He came, he saw, he conquered, and it was taken away. You know, he did more for black relationships than even Minister Farrakhan could even do. T.D. Jakes couldn't do. Umar Johnson hasn't done yet. And with his YouTube show, and nobody even invited, nowhere in the mainstream invited Kevin Samuels. Here, the Breakfast Club didn't even invite Kevin Samuels on. That's how powerful the brother was. This is not Kevin worship. This is Kevin understanding, Kevin observation. He did, and he showed the proof. There were women calling in every night to get that understanding. And then there were women that called in every other week to say, hey, Kevin, I'm getting married. There were black men that called in and said, hey, Kevin, I proposed to her. We're getting married. You don't never hear that with Dr. Umar Johnson. You ain't never hear that with T.D. Jakes. You never hear that with no Ace Metaphor, no Tony Gaskin, no Derek Jackson. You never hear none of that. So I knew that dude was special because he was actually getting results. This bullshit that Umar Johnson is still trying to push. Black men, you're the reason why the sisters picked a Pookie and a Ray Ray because you weren't there to raise him not to be a Pookie and a Ray Ray. I'm like, what is he saying? Is he crazy? But let me say something to everybody who try to pull a wool over the masses of black men's eyes. You know, there's about 8-9 million black men, right? And so when he speaks, he likes to speak in a collective. Dr. Umar Johnson, listen to me. He likes to speak in the collective when there is a finger pointed at the direction by which the problem started. No, brother, he told those young men several times, no, brother, you're talking about individualism. No, it seems to be you want to make it collective when you're about to get on the women's ass. No, brother, it's the collective, all of us. Well, what responsibility, Dr. Umar, do the women play? And yeah, you said, I get on the sisters too, but no, you mean it when you get on black men. And I don't understand how they try to give us all these goddamn roles that you don't even respect. Y'all are the leaders. When the fuck y'all respected black male leadership in this country in the last 40 years? Now all of a sudden, when you make all the poor choices with your vagina, we're the leaders? Well, let me let y'all know something else. One thing that was so awesome about Kevin Samuels, didn't argue back and forth with the foolishness. He pulled out the statistics and the data that disprove all these accusations, all these myths and misnomers about black men and black male behavior. Now, am I out here saying that black men behave completely? Hell no. Is there a segment of black men who are in disbelief of how they're supposed to behave? Of course. Have black men fallen off in segments of our community? Yes, we have. But the way Dr. Umar talks is if black men ain't doing shit in America because he has to pander to his base, the Mary J. Blige population of black women. And so, you know, I want to say this to you, Dr. Umar. Do you know that you could have had your school built and the money for it 8 years ago had you not played this strategy? Attack black men to get black women's approval? Because black men have money too. You see, they spend it on tennis shoes, they spend it on strippers, they spend it on education, they spend it on a lot of stuff. They would have spent some on you, but ain't nobody going to sit here and let you constantly lie on them and disrespect them. And I don't think your donations went up after this one either. You know why, Dr. Umar? Your donations probably didn't go up from the women because you don't look like Derek Jackson or Kevin Samuels, fatso. Because it's all about the look as well with women. Yeah, you can have some good words, but also they're very visual people. Derek Jackson made a killing because he understood. All right, I got my conversation down. Now let me get in the gym and chisel up. I'm already tall enough. And boom, whatever he said, if he said, farts aren't so bad coming through your nose. They be like, oh my God, Derek Jackson said, if you get pooted on in the face, it ain't so bad. Because they thought he was handsome. So Umar, they don't listen to your word, but they ain't giving you no money. So, Dr. Umar, I want y'all to understand, you brothers and sisters that thought he just laid down the law in this last thing, he didn't. He regurgitated other misnomers and other assumptions about a whole population of men. So let me lay down some statistics. 51% of black men are single and childless. Let me say that again. 51% of black men are single and childless. About 59% of black men are living in middle class or upper class existence. So that means they don't live in the ghetto. So who's left? The Pookies, the Ray Rays, the Devontaes, the Jaquans, and Taquans. And these are the men that these women are reproducing, they're choosing. And also, you know, there are plenty of brothers. All of us have had the experience. If we ever went to junior high school and high school, we saw who the women flocked to. If you weren't a top-notch athlete, or if you weren't a drug dealer, or some kind of something that looked like an entertainer or rapper, you had to work, do some extra work to get some play. And Dr. Umar is so out of touch, he act like that doesn't factor into why black women in the condition that they're in, a large majority of them. And so what he does, he wants to include people like me in that fucking conversation. I ain't got nothing to do with that, Umar. And 51% of us are childless, single and childless. 59% of us live in the suburbs of upper middle class existence. So who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. But and I can be, and also in my age group, I'm 54, so I know damn well you ain't talking to me. But you don't ever make those distinctions when you have your conversations, Umar. You include everybody. Now here's the other part that threw me off, among other things. He said, the main reason that black women are so masculine, they have to be masculine, because they have to raise those children by themselves. And I think he heard himself applaud in his own fucking head. Because I live in reality. I don't know about him. I'd say he's out of touch. Well, Dr. Umar, I just gave statistics of the guys who are not getting women pregnant, who are not living in the ghetto or whatever. And also, I told y'all earlier that everything that we do as individuals, we make choices to do it, right? When someone commits a crime, no, he made that choice to do that. No, she went in that burning house on her own. Nobody forced her to. So how come, Dr. Umar, you don't understand that teenage girls and older women make choices with their body? It's funny that we recognize that when it comes down to the abortion debate, they always get to say, my body, my choice. Well, how come when it comes to reproduction, you don't hear them screaming, my body, my choice, my punani, my choice? No, because it's just like this nature of women. They're the cheapest people on the planet, and they don't want to take accountability for shit. And all you do is you fuel that. That's why one of my posts, I said, Dr. Umar is simping. It only cripples black women even more. But everybody knows when you let a woman know the truth to her face and you say it with some sternness, she'll love your dirty draws. That simping never got too far with women. Because they say, well, damn, he kissing my ass. Then she'll start running over your ass. And that's how it is. And then you say, you admit it when the brother asks you so systematically. A lot of those black men will run out systematically. He said, yes, that's true. So, okay, stop right there. If systematically black men will run out, and we can talk about the 1965 agreement that black women accepted with Lyndon Baines Johnson, then we talk about in the 80s, the man not in the House Act, where both of them was set up where she accepted food stamps, welfare, and Section 8 if she made sure that there was no man in the house. And black women did that, Umar. They did that. And so now we're seeing the results of their poor vaginal reproductive choices and making that bad contract with feminists and white liberals. But somehow you still want to make all the black men responsible for their choices. That's not how it works, brother. This is 2023. And then you say, well, y'all won't even you're not in the neighborhood to stop these brothers from joining gangs. Hold on a minute, Dr. Umar. How come you never tell these women, stop demanding, and you too, Dr. Umar, stop demanding that the non-selected black men who moved out the ghetto, went education, military, started a business, bettered themselves, bigger than the hood, who weren't tall enough, who didn't have enough swagger, who weren't big enough, who didn't have enough money, or had the right shoes, or the jeans or the designer clothes back then for these ladies. How come you and other weirdos try to ask men like me to come back to the ghetto to be mentors? What kind of sense does that make? Did you know the main mentors y'all should be hitting up are the ones who they had the babies by? The men they had the babies by? Why do y'all ask us? Because I know, personally, I know millions of black men. I never sold no dope in the hood. I never robbed or stolen anything. I didn't create any bastard kids. I didn't kick anybody's doors down. I didn't gang. I didn't do none of that. But you want people like me to come back and clean up the mess that these women created with the men of their choosing. That's the problem I have with Dr. Umar. You know, if you can ask us nicely, maybe we'll come back. Because it was in my head. I said, yeah, we need to go back to the hood. But why? What's in it for me? What's in it for other brothers who went on and do great in their lives? What's the goddamn payoff? Yeah, don't try to tell me out there, well, we all need to be African. No, that shit don't work no more. It's never really worked. Because, hell, those in the conscious community not even that active. Yeah. And that's my problem I have with Dr. Umar and anybody else who try to attack black men as a collective. Yeah, there's some black men who's misbehaved. But how come you want to bring us the 51% and the 59% into the conversation where they're only having sex with 13% of men or 12% of black men? What do you mean? 77% of black women, of black children are born to single mothers, right? And then, so that means that 77% of black kids born out of wedlock to single women. And I hope y'all don't think it was 77% of men who did this. No, they're all having sex with the same dude. Because every fifth black dude got on minimum 2 baby mamas. They screwing the same man. We got there was a man in Tennessee, up in East Tennessee, 64 children with 26 different women. And my girl Mary Max is informing me that some guy in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, got 20-something kids with multiple women. So how the hell do we, as the 51%, tie into that, Dr. Umar? My thing is, change your conversation. Say, ladies, say this, Dr. Umar. You know those guys that y'all had sex with who y'all chose? He was never your husband. He's probably more likely in the streets. Y'all need to go back and demand those guys come back and be a father to their children. That's what y'all need to do. Because we know that by statistics, black men are most involved in their children's lives. But still, it must not be enough because, hell, ain't enough of them to go around. Because they all screwed the same man. Because every other sister that got kids at least got 2 or 3 baby daddies. So ain't enough. And then he got some baby mamas. So it's almost like a sick ass, almost incestuous ass community. So go ask the guys who did that. Don't ask us. We didn't wreak havoc in the ghetto in the hood. We didn't. We were too busy trying to work, stay out of trouble, obey our parent or our mother. We were too busy doing that. Because we saw the writing on the wall early. And we decided to do something different. But the ladies didn't see guys who had their book bags on or guys who went to class every day, dudes who didn't get suspended, guys who didn't mimic every rap song that was out there. They didn't look at them as valuable. So they went straight to the guy who skipped school, the dude who skipped school, the guy who's in the gang, or he's a rapper or star athlete at school. And then we ain't jealous of it. We're not hating on them. We just I'm telling you the observation. So when you start talking about some goddamn collective, no, it wasn't a collective that got these women pregnant, Dr. Umar. It was those 12 to 13% who they still screwing right now. Then they make them fucked up choices. Then they want to come get the guys who said, no, all right, I'm a non-select dude. So you say, well, what's the solution, Rico? Well, there's a lot of solutions. They call them passport bros. They call them black men travel. They call them intelligent black men of reform. They call them black men going their own way. It's a lot of solutions. Because why the hell? Now you got black men who are considered, they're non-select. The sisters don't like them. They call them Carltons. They lames. Even with black men with college degrees, they call them educated lames. And you got some beta male simps they call brothers with master's degrees, PhDs, engineering degrees, who speak with correct English and knows the knowledge outside of hip hop. They call them educated lames. So why the hell do you keep including 51% of us in that little 13% ass conversation, Dr. Umar Johnson? Because you're a panderer. You're pandering for profits and punani. Shout out to your conscious stripper. Then another thing, Umar, it's interesting. You're always talking about what men need to do with their children, and they need to marry the mother. But you got 2 goddamn kids and 2 baby mamas. You ain't married neither one of them, Umar. That's why I said you're not qualified to speak on the morality of black love relationships. You are not qualified. Shut the fuck up. Stick to what you know, bro. You know, and leave us out your motherfucking conversation. Another thing I noticed, I don't ever see you on one of these platforms with a black manosphere that got that red pill for your ass. You'll never come on. Now you can bring your ass on my channel, Rico the Opinionist. Send me an inbox. And let's set it up. And let's have some real common sense conversation. We can talk about racism, white supremacy all you want to. We can throw that out. I know I'm familiar with Dr. John Henry Clark, Franz Fanon, Dr. Francis Cress Welton, Dr. Julia Hare. I even tried to read some of the Medunetta by the brother with that Caribbean accent. Yeah, it was kind of tough to read. So some of the same stuff you read, a lot of us have read, Dr. Umar. And the ladies just need to get themselves together. Humble thyself, ladies. Stop allowing yourself to be lied to for profit. It doesn't help you out when these guys keep telling you you ain't did nothing wrong. You made your choices. Just like when you see that African dude that was with that white girl and she ended up killing him, y'all said, well, that's what he chose. That's what he get. Now, you made your bed. You made your ratchet bed. Now, lie in it, sisters. And, of course, it's not all. But it's a large number. And I want to say to the women who are sweet women out there, I'm not categorizing you, because we got a lot of very decent and wonderful and beautiful sisters. But unfortunately, when they say one apple spoils the whole barrel, right now these days, due to the media hype, due to the movies, due to all this, that apple is half full of rotten apples now. You can't hardly tell who is who now. Because you want women who are sweet and good natured, got good morals, we can't tell you. And those of you who say that you be on the inside all the time, come outside so we can see you. Because what my interest is to bring black men and black women who like each other together. You know, preferably the women who did not get tattoos, the women who did not gang a bunch of goddamn weight, one who don't wear lace fronts, one who don't have fucked up attitudes, the bad attitudes. You know, those sisters. Y'all come out so we can see y'all. You know. We want to bring y'all out. I want to bring y'all together. Let Dr. Umar do with the broken ratchets and the broken fatzos and the broken lace fronts and tattooed up and the sukiyanas, because he got furthered by the ultimate ratchet. Well, I give it to sister, and she want to talk. Maybe it can take her from ratchet to righteousness. You can't make a whore out of a housewife. And I don't know too many times you can make a whore wholesome. You hear me? But I know it's a lot of very sweet sisters out there. And I need y'all to come front. Don't let Dr. Umar, push that bullshit like he include y'all. 'Cause I know y'all understand accountability. But see, it works when you continue to push any group forward without any accountability. It doesn't work like that. Nobody cares about what you said about us. See, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. We heard the truth. We've been hearing that bullshit for 50 years. But one thing people have failed to do because they're still so mad, black men, if we look at statistics, black men make better single fathers. Black men, even though, we don't get all the job opportunities, but black men still out-earn black women. And black women say, we're the most, the higher college attendees. Yeah, you college attendees, but y'all don't graduate at high rates. Still, y'all black women in this country, ratchet and beyond, are giving all kinds of extras, grants, gifts, applause, and black men who are literally pushed to the back of the bus, hell, under the bus, are still striving without that extra help and push. Hell, we don't even hardly help each other, and we still, as a group, still moving forward past women and black women. But that's not what I'm about. I just need everybody to look at the statistics. Read the goddamn stats. You'll see that black men are fucking awesome. Even through all the trials and tribulations, we still make it through. And 86% of black men who are married at 86% to black women. All that goes out the window. All Dr. Umar want to talk about was still 2/3 of black women raising children alone. Well, let me know how many of those were about divorces, Umar. So you don't want to get into those stats. How many of those were divorces? We understand women get divorced. You know, the children get split. Sometimes illegally they get 50-50 custody. Because I can tell you now, if you want to put the stats up against single men versus fathers who are not with their kids, I guarantee you this percentage is very low, or who leaves children as when you compare it to fathers. Husbands don't leave children, don't abandon children. Then you want to say, y'all are not here to raise y'all kids. First of all, and protect the women. Every husband I know is protecting his wife and his children. That's what we're supposed to do. If you got a wife, you got a child, your job is to do that, and black men are doing it. Now, you asking guys who are not connected to any of these women, who don't even find them desirable, you want us to come and spend our time and protect them? Yeah, we already got women that we protect. Our mothers, our sisters, our wives, our daughters. Yeah, then you want us to pull double duty? I think, who's this? I think comedian Sherry Shepherd said some weird shit. Ladies, married women, we don't want your husband. We want to ask, can we borrow him to come help us mentor and raise these kids? Are you kidding me? You got a whole husband that's coming to your son's graduation soon, Sherry. But that's just how they think men are stupid. They're like, we're here for everybody's utility. We're here to be everybody's mule and workhorse. No, it's 2023. Brothers ain't going for that crap anymore. We're human beings, damn it. We have the right to make choices. Yeah, the black power shit, black together was the thing back in the day. But ain't nobody interested in that ordinarily. They only want to pull the black togetherness or the black power thing when it benefits one group, and it's usually not black men. So we're not going for that anymore, Dr. Umar and others. We're not going for that. So, brother, you're going to have to find another hustle, because brothers going to stay on your ass when you come out here pandering, throwing us under the bus. Again, black men aren't perfect. They don't always do and say the right thing. But goddamn it, we're nobody's stepping stool. We're nobody's wash rag. We're nobody's work mule. We're not. And this last interview he did, I said, oh, okay, this motherfucker needs to be stopped. It went too far. But everything else, Dr. Umar, you be on point. And for anybody to keep saying black men don't like to hear the truth, we've been had the truth told on us for 40 goddamn years. Well, we weren't supposed to, we supposed to get online and say, no, that's not true. What we did was we heard what y'all said. Black men before me heard what y'all said, and they quietly bettered themselves. That's why the statistics will show differently. Now, if you want to look at the real statistics, you can see who's attacked the most in this country. And I'll end on this by saying the quote, the remix of the quote to fit today's times. The most disrespected, the most unprotected, the most disregarded, the most discarded, the most attacked group in America is the black male. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank y'all for listening to me. And we'll definitely talk in the future. This your man, Rico the Opinionist. Hold on one second before I go. Let me see who's on here. Jewel, what's up, bro? Oh, hold on a second, y'all. Chris Armour, what's good? Terrell, what's up, Terrell? See who else on here. What's that, Net Youssef? All right, what's up, guys? Hope y'all shared this. Y'all be cool. I'm out. Peace.